It was 5:30 a.m. and all the workers arrived in the cotton mill. There were workers of all ages, from kids to old men and women. They all assembled together because it was Monday, and on every Monday there is a meeting. The meeting started at 5:35 a.m. All the workers were on their feet, facing towards Mr. Polly, who was the owner of the factory. He stared at all of the workers really quickly with his eyebrows crossed. The 56-year-old man coughed. It was pin drop silence. Beside Mr. Polly there was Mr. Hook. He was hailed by Mr. Polly as an overseas. His head was clear, without any hair, and a large stick on his hand, which was covered with a whip. The whip was rolled, wrapped around the large stick. He was really cruel and used to beat children really hard. Mr. Polly started. I'm going to introduce a new worker. A boy walked in as Polly was saying. The boy had a big smile on his face and was wearing new clothes. When he entered, he saw everyone unhappy and wearing old, torn clothes, and they are really dirty. Mr. Polly continued, "Welcome." He stood beside Mr. Hook and said, "Hi, I am Robert Lincoln." Then he turned his face to Mr. Hook and saw the whip stick and got nervous. Then Mr. Polly clapped with his hands twice and everyone started working. Right then Mr. Hook shouted at Robert, "Pick up the loose cotton that fell upon the floor. Right now." Robert got scared and ran into a corner and started his work. From about every machine, loose cotton fell off every moment. There was a boy who was working. Suddenly, he stopped working and was looking at Robert really angrily, as if Robert had did something really bad to him. Waka! A sound came from the boy's side. It was the sound of the whip which Mr. Hook hit him.
Mr. Hook started and glowed at him, saying, "Work, mind your own work, don't stop working," and then whipped him again. "Ah!" shouted the kid. "Okay, I am." And Mr. Hook replied, "Yeah, do your work, you idiot, deformed, stupid Benjamin." Later that day, it was 10:12 p.m. On the afternoon, they got break, and that one break only. Benjamin went to drink water. When he went to the water bottle, he saw Robert taking rest, was sitting down. Benjamin drank water, and while he was drinking, Robert asked, "Can I have some?" He replied, "Yeah, sure," and threw the bottle the opposite way Robert was sitting and said, "But you have to go and get it," and walked away. It was too hard work for Robert, and he was pretty upset than he was before. When he finished and threw this roll, he slowly got up, walked to the bottle, picked it up, and started drinking. While he was drinking, he turned around to see the time. It was 12:25, 5 more minutes until the break ends, and saw the most beautiful girl he has ever seen. She was Jane, and was 7 years old. Jane looked back, and Robert quickly looked away, smiled, and walked to Mr. Hook to ask what to do next. As he was new, Mr. Hook was standing beside the large gate of the mill. Robert ran to him and asked, "Sorry, sir, but I don't know what to do next." Mr. Hook whipped the floor, making a loud noise with the whip, and said, "Keep track of the threads while it goes into the machine. Go!" Robert went to the machine and started working. Benjamin was talking to Jane, and Robert got jealous. Robert ran to Jane and was talking to her. In 3 to 4 minutes, they were friends. The machine started making loud noise, which created
a crowd around the machine. Mr. Hook quickly turned it off and then asked, "Who is that idiot who left the machine like this?" Everyone was quiet, and the tick-tock sound of the clock was loud for that moment. Benjamin shouted, "It's Robert!" The new guy. Robert walked into the middle of the crowd and said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Hook." And on that moment, Mr. Hook just hit him with the large 7.5 feet long stick. Robert cried, "Ah! Help!" with pain and laid down on the floor. Mr. Hook picked him up and gave him a ladder. Robert had to climb up the ladder and hold it onto the ceiling over the thread machine he was working on. Benjamin was pretty happy, but all others, including Jane, was upset. Jane was working on the machine and was sad because one of his new friends was punished. He looked up at Robert and was upset. When she looked back down, she saw that her red apron was caught in the machine. It pulled her and dragged her on the machine and chopped her in pieces while she shouted, "Ah, help, help, help!" And one of her legs shot out of her body and died. Benjamin ran to the machine as well as other workers. Robert shouted from the top, "Jane, Jane, are you okay?" And his hand slipped off and literally fell right on the blades of the machine he was on top. The blood spread everywhere.